the prettiest little shade garden you ever did see. It is currently very early morning and the sun is rising, and the light here is spectacular. I want to show you all the plants that I have inside this shade garden. We're going to go through them with the names so you can see all the ingredients it took to make this garden a reality. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in growing zone 8B and I am in southeastern North Carolina. Entering the shade garden, we are going to start on the left side. This is the Heart to Heart Blushing Bride Caladium, and this one is both tolerant of sun and shade. So it can be right here at the front where the sun really peeks through the start of my shade garden. Now, if you remember early on, I had set up some of these pieces of wood just as like an entranceway into this garden. I made them out of scrap wood that I had, and they are on both sides just to give us sort of an opening to our garden path. Got the caladiums there, and then I have the Black Beauty elephant ears right here. These guys are such stunners when it comes to elephant ears. Oh, the pot here is the Dragon's Breath Celosia, and I'm going to be getting some blooms on it finally sometime very soon, and it's going to make this area look gorgeous for fall. And I simply have ivy growing out of the pot as my spiller, and ivy, you guys, is so easy to propagate, just as the spiller in this pot, which is sweet potato vine. Both of those can root easily in water or soil from cuttings. So I have sweet potato vine here, as well as begonias. Begonias tend to be shade loving as well, although sometimes you can get them to tolerate some sun. This variety here does a bit of both for me. Let's pop up into our coleus. This is my newly constructed Nic-Coleus Alley, where I have these pot holders hanging on the fence. I have the 8-inch terracotta pots filled with coleus propagations. This one right here is my favorite, with the pink streaming down the middle. But the interesting thing about each one of these coleus pots is they originally came from a variety pack that I purchased right at Lowe's. So there's no specific name as to what each one of these is. I got them back in the spring and was just waiting for something glorious to do with them. And this shade garden was it. And then once I found these brackets for the pots, I knew that I could have coleus hanging up high. Now, the reason for the Nic-Coleus Alley sign is this isn't just a little coleus wall right here. I have a Coleus Alley happening because I have 2 walls of coleus. And this one behind my shed, it was done up with window boxes that I just filled up again with that same kind of coleus. This is all propagations of the same plants that you can clip off, reroot, etc. Getting down to the garden bench area in my Nic-Coleus Alley, this little arrangement right here has some clippings of the Tickled Pickle coleus. This one does have a name because this is something completely separate. This is a sun-tolerant coleus that I have in another area of my yard, and this is, of course, is just a sweet potato vine. Something about bronze heart, I believe. But once again, propagates so easily from clippings, I have it in multiple places. This pot is pretty newly planted, so it doesn't look extremely great right now, but I have some sweet potato vine that I want to take root in here so it becomes a draper like these pieces. And then some purple heart pieces of a plant, also easy to propagate, as well as coleus stems that are beginning to root in this pot. So it's all newly done, but I wanted to keep the height of it fairly low since it sits right behind my coleus or Nic-Coleus Alley sign. I have some lemon coral sedum hanging in these sweet little pots up here that can grow well in the sun or the shade, but the coloring is probably going to fade out a bit in the shade. And on this garden bench, the little star of the show is this gorgeous caladium. Now this caladium, unfortunately, I got from a nursery that didn't give a name as to what exactly it is, but I have varying colors on this foliage. And that's what makes the caladium fabulous, because these ones that really highlight the vein color, I love. And then look at this, some darker leaves, some more pink leaves, so it's fabulous. And this right here, this gorgeous specimen, is another coleus. This one is the pink feathers. It's very light. And of course, the shape of the foliage is way different from general other kinds of more generic coleus. And we get different speckles of different colors on this guy all around. Heading to the back corner of the shade garden, I have a pothos plant and I have a Boston fern. The pothos plant was a clearance plant, so he hasn't fully bounced back into gloriousness, but I have high hopes for him. In my little tiny head planter here, this cascading rock sedum is just absolutely fabulous. I love this head planter. He's one of my favorites also, but this, oh, it just looks glorious, and you can change out, of course, what goes into that planter. This one right here is just holding on to some creeping Jenny and a cordyline spike. I think I am going to add in some fall color into this pot because it's just calling out, waiting for it. And then on my faux potting bench, and I'm calling it that because I'm not really going to do potting here, but I've sort of set it up like I could. I have another head planter with the pink feathers coleus in it, as well as a little bit of the lemon coral sedum draping out of the backside. I had gotten this little cabinet from Salvation Army, and I just painted it in a way that I thought would be a bright accent of color in an otherwise shadier spot. On the other side of the pathway, we have some more of the Black Beauty elephant ears. The contrast in this leaf is so amazing. And of course, the height that it gets on it, oh, it's such a stunning plant. Beside it, another window box liner that is full of coleus that I just keep taking pieces of those plants and adding them into other areas. Now, directly below where you see the coleus, I have a hosta sitting there in a pot because not really anything in this whole garden is planted in the ground except for the purple heart that you see right there. And the reason for that is because I have these glorious Leland cypress trees that I have planted on the other side of my fence line. So I have a lot of tree roots in this area, and I didn't want to disturb them, just to add a few plants into the ground. So we are largely a container garden here, but the hosta may be one that I add in since those roots don't go in too deep. Up above, in all of my window box planters, I have either creeping Jenny and or ivy as my spillers in each of the arrangements. And otherwise a combination of coleus colors, and like in this one, a smidge of begonias tossed into the center as well. Still staying alongside the bottom here, this is a hydrangea that bloomed beautifully early on in the season. More coleus, of course. And again, this pot is screaming for me to add in some fall color as soon as that really becomes time. Another Dragon's Breath Celosia sitting here on this pot with some coleus. And this is a Croton Petra that you can see here. And this was propagated off of a stem cutting as well. I don't find this one to be nearly as easy to propagate, but I was successful twice, I think, with the Croton. And then this is just another piece of the pothos plant potted up with it. Both the Croton and the pothos are plants that would have to be overwintered inside for me. So this pink feathered coleus you see in multiple spots here because it's the same sort of deal. You can root it quite easily from cuttings, and so I did that in multiple pots. And then I just have some pieces of the Autumn Joy sedum in this pot with this guy. The morning sun is up now, but here's one last look at where we are with the prettiest little shade garden you ever did see. One of the awesome things about this shade garden is that it basically runs right into my secret garden, so I can have a whole pathway of lights from this space all the way down my blue boardwalk. So it just makes the area look even larger and more phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining me today on this little tour of the prettiest little shade garden you ever did see. Follow me on social media if you don't already for more gorgeous shots and garden inspiration. Until next time, you guys, happy planting.